So where are they going to allocate money? Actual salary cap money on offense. I like Kyle Duggar. I like the signing. I like the player. Did they put the transition tag on him and really didn't have to and then gave him a bonus on top of it? Yes, that's exactly what happened. $16 million on a safety? Fine. Spend the money. But I want a $16 million offensive player. And that's where I wanted to start tonight at 617-779-0985. Also, there's steam. You know what they say about following the steam? There's steam on a quarterback. We'll get into that quarterback in a little bit. And another is coming in for a visit. They're doing dinner tonight and then a workout tomorrow. So we'll continue the Patriots conversation here on the other side. Thank you for everybody joining us on YouTube tonight. I follow. I read all your stuff. I'll read them over the air as well. So when will the Patriots allocate money on offense? We'll do that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 90.
98.5. We're on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? I will read all your chats. And I just popped on in there now. I am just sitting here. If you want to know who the guy is that's in there talking to you guys, that is me. So, started the show talking Patriots. And listen, we'll get in there whatever you guys want to talk about. Seriously, we're here. It's Monday night. We get the national championship coming up. We get the night after WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw. Like, there's no Celtics. There's no Bruins. The Red Sox have opening day tomorrow. Whatever you want to talk about, we're here. 617-779-0985. I started off talking about Kyle Duggar. The Duggar signing, again, fine with Kyle Duggar. He's a fine player. They read the market wrong. And Kyle Duggar put up a stink about being on the transition tag. And instead, what did they do? Instead of actually reading the market a little bit right, now they give him a raise. 4-year, $58 million deal up to $66 million. I don't care about the money because I like the player because they're not spending any money anyways. $32.5 million guaranteed. I understand that Duggar now joins Nwenu, Uche, Jennings, all homegrown talent that they've re-signed this offseason. Where is the money being spent on offense? Where is the money being spent on offense? Great. Kyle Duggar got a raise. They didn't have to do it. The two sides failed to reach an agreement on an extension. Patriots placed a transition tag. It was worth $13.81 million. It gave them, I don't know, a lot of flexibility. Also, any team could have made an offer. Could have tested the market with an offer sheet. Nothing was there. And now he returns for a raise. He's probably going to make anywhere between $14 and $16 million a year. Top 6 paid. Again, don't care that they have to pay. I care that it's going to a defensive player. More money going on defense. Oh, the draft, Joe, the offense. Yeah, a lot of these offensive players don't produce in the first year in the NFL. It's a fact. It's a fact. So that's the only reason why I don't like it. And it happened yesterday. I was on with Kendra Middleton. We were on 10-2 yesterday. News broke right before we came on. Again, fine with the player. Spend some $16 million on a safety. But for another $5 million, you could have had Calvin Ridley. Like, this is what I mean about you should be frustrated. More assets into defense. Well, Joe, who else do you want on the sign? I don't know. How about Odell Beckham? How about Michael Gallup on a 1-year deal? And if you don't like those players, at least they're upgrades, right? It's just money. I want to spend money on good players. If you don't like them, fine, but they're upgrades. That's what they're going to have to do now. They are now going to have to get that 1-year prove-it contract guy. I like the name Michael Gallup because he's a big receiver that you hope could be a 1 or a 2 with the size that he has. He's probably better than Devontae Parker, right? 1-year, prove-it deal. Odell Beckham, I know he's talking to the Dolphins, but why don't you throw him more money? Oh, I don't like that player, Joe. You know what? He's better than what you have. Allocate money on offense. That's my frustration. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Also, Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner, will have a dinner tonight. I wonder where they're going. Top 30 visit. So if they're at Gillette, where would you go out tonight, Skaz, for a nice little din-din? Davio's, maybe? Right there. You know, we can go see my boy TJ at Parker's Pub. Get some good wings over there. You could do that. I mean, there's plenty of options out there. Right up Route 1. Oh, I'll give you some goodies over there. You want a hole in the wall? Lewis? Oh, yeah. Anyways. Tomorrow, he will, the Heisman Trophy winner, will be working out with the team and threw for 3,800 yards, 40 touchdowns last year, 1,100 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns on the ground. Ho-hum. And it's the third time the two sides will get together as the Patriots are set to select at number 3 overall, but they have met 3 times. The whole contingency plan went to the LSU Pro Day. So they've seen him twice. Now he's coming to New England. And I just saw a recent mock draft. And I believe this is from The Athletic from earlier today. And I just read it like within the last hour or so. So I thought it was fairly interesting. A lot of reports indicate that Drake May is going to the Patriots at 3. Well, based off the mock draft I saw today, a little bit of a change there. This from The Athletic today. Nick Baumgardner gave the first 3-round projections for all the NFL teams. So it has number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, Drake May of North Carolina. May's still a growing passer. When you stack him up against Jaden Daniels, though, May's strengths are stronger and the weaknesses are similar. And there may be a preference for Adam Peters in Washington for May at QB2. Interesting. It has the Patriots selecting Jaden Daniels, quarterback LSU at 3. And he writes, if I'm New England, I'm trying to get out of this pick. However, Robert Kraft wants a quarterback, one he can market. It doesn't seem like he'd be willing to wait. Daniels has improved as much as any player in this class over the last 2 years, and he has rare dual threat capability. So here he is suggesting the Patriots should get out of the pick, but mentioning that Robert Kraft wants a quarterback and one that he can market. To me, that means that they are selecting a quarterback at 3. So if Jaden Daniels is there at 3, I think Patriots fans will be thrilled. This is the guy that Bill Belichick wanted too. I think there's more upside in Drake May, if you ask me. But for a quarterback to play right away, like everybody wants, with Jacoby Brissett's here for a year and then hands the torch over, passes the torch, I think Jaden Daniels can play right away in the NFL. I do. I believe he can play right away. He won't with Brissett here, but he can. And today, I've heard more about trading out of the number 3 pick than I have in a long time. And it makes me wonder if that's what the contingency is thinking. Like, if they like Drake May and Washington selects him, do they love Daniels? Is this why the 3rd time they're meeting Daniels this week? They're really trying to get a good look on Jaden Daniels. Not to mention the steam that we heard last week when it came to J.J. McCarthy. And that's who the Athletic has going forth to the Vikings in a trade with Arizona. Mentions the Vikings need a QB. The only question is how high. Daniels doesn't rank among the top 10 in the class. McCarthy isn't in the top 15. But the market's the market. And just to have fun with this mock draft, which we'll get into a little bit later here as well, I wanted to find out where Michael Penix was drafted. And there is some steam coming in on Michael Penix right now. And I mean by steam, a lot of talks about him being just as good as any of the top 3 quarterbacks. And so far, as I'm reading this Athletic mock draft, they have the Denver Broncos selecting Bo Nix at 19. But I wouldn't be surprised by that. They've been linked there. They've been linked. But as I continue to look through, I mean, I don't see Michael Penix in the first round. I continue to keep looking here. I'm in the 40s now. 44. The Las Vegas Raiders. What do they call them? Las Vegas Raiders select Michael Penix, quarterback of Washington. Mentions Penix is a QB6 here. It might be too low on the board. The Raiders or some other QB-needy team may have to move up for him. There are questions about Penix's game, his accuracy, age, injury history. Those are all very real. So at the moment, the Athletics' latest mock draft has the Patriots selecting Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix going 19 to the Broncos. I should have mentioned the Vikings traded up for J.J. McCarthy at 4. So there'll be 5 first-round quarterbacks with Penix going in the second round. Actually was curious who the next quarterback was, as this is a 3-round mock draft. Let's see, the next quarterback that goes, and I wonder if there even is another quarterback that goes in the next couple of rounds here. Yeah, don't see it. So 5 quarterbacks could be off again in the first round this year. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We'll take a quick break. We'll get a look at the Sports Hub headlines and some other stuff going on in the sports world today. How about opening day tomorrow as well? We'll get into that. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, no Bruins, no Celtics tonight, but we do have the NCAA National Championship between right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Hey, Skaz, how you doing back there tonight, buddy?
Yeah, we're doing good, Joe. Good to be back. Kind of a full Joe show tonight. A little abbreviated.
Yeah.
But for a good reason.
Yeah, I was staring at the sun earlier today.
With the glasses on, I hope.
Where do I get these special glasses that everybody was talking about?
I saw them at like every grocery store, gas station over the weekend.
That's where I do most of my shopping, the gas station. Didn't see anything there.
Probably sold out.
I know, huh? We'll get into this a little bit later. We'll have some fun. I did participate. I went outside. It was really dark all of a sudden, and I went outside. And then I saw my neighbors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I went outside and guy across the street was out with his kids. People down the road were out there, kids. It's all right, everybody's just kind of standing in the middle of the road.
I heard kids being like, so cool. And I was like, wow, kids still go out? Wow. Because I was a kid, man. We played video games after school, but you were outside all day long. Now it's all kids don't want to not all kids. Some kids just don't want to even exercise anymore. Well, speaking of exercise, we have friends on YouTube tonight. Hello, YouTubers. I'm reading Allie Foley's in there. Hi, Allie. Would love your take on Ramondre Stevenson and how he wants a bigger role this season. Well, first, I would say Ramondre would need to be healthy. Second, he was upset last year they brought in Zeke Elliott. He wanted to be the man. And this year they're bringing in Antonio Gibson, who is somewhat of a pure third down back, which will take him off the field on third down. I think Ramondre's a good all-around back. But I am curious, too, if he needs a compliment. I kind of liked him and Damian Harris at the time. Harris, of course, went to Buffalo and has just retired. But I don't know. I expect big things out of Ramondre, not to mention he wants that payday. And if they want to spend money on offensive players, I have no problem with it being a running back. Why? Because Ramondre Stevenson is one of the Patriots' best offensive players. So if you found out that they gave him a deal, I don't care. Yes, give him the money. He's good. I don't care that it's a running back and you can find him anywhere. He's a good, proven player. 2 years ago might have been your best offensive player with Jacoby Myers. Spend money on offense. Offense. Boom, boom. Offense. Boom, boom. Yes. So, yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, I would like to see a better season. We got Topher in there. What's happening, Topher? Joe, congrats, brother. Been listening to you since day one 14 years ago. Was that here or at one of the other defunct radio stations that I once worked at? Here we go now. Someone talking a little food in there. May is the obvious pick, Joe. Drake May is the next guy. Grogan, Bledsoe, Brady, May. All right, man. Even though the latest mock draft has the Patriots selecting Jaden Daniels, and who's in town tonight? Oh, Jaden, you hanging around tonight? You hanging around tonight? Want to listen to the Joe Show? Maybe you're a YouTuber? We're here. 617-779-0985. We can talk old Arizona State football if you want. We can get into Brandon Ayuk and his availability, or, what happened with N'Keal Harry. We can talk a little Herm Edwards, too, if you want. Or we could just talk LSU football or the Patriots or whatever. Or where you went to dinner tonight. That'd be cool. I want Penix. Okay. The risk for Penix is that he may not be available. Correct, he may not. Bruins Luchador is in there. Trying to outsmart everyone taking a QB later in the draft isn't something they should do. Smells like a Bill move. There you go. And then people are asking me about WrestleMania, which I loved, and I'll get into it later. We'll have a whole segment on WrestleMania. But I have the television on right now, and don't leave me. But I can't wait to watch this thing when I get off later tonight. I will tell you that. 617-779-0985. We got Dean. Dean's in Shrewsbury. What's up, Dean?
What's up? I like the Rafaela signing. I don't know a ton about him other than the plays he's made in the field and some of his great base running. But I just like the idea behind it, signing your young player to long-term deals. I'm seeing more of a plan from them now. Do I wish it was Casas and not Rafaela? Yes, but it takes two to tango, and I don't know that Casas wants to sign right now, but at least they're doing what they can in signing these young guys to long-term deals like Rafaela and Bayo.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny, Dean? I was just talking about how, like, the Patriots, I just want them to sign good players. I don't care who they are. I just want good players. At least the Red Sox are spending the money on homegrown players that they'll have under control for a while. It sets a good message for the younger players. Now, you mentioned Casas. They've at least talked to him. They want him back. But it might be in his best interest to bet on himself, too.
Yeah, that's a big thing, I think, with Casas is he put up such huge numbers. I mean, if he can replicate what he did in the last half of last season, then he's already like a $30 million guy. So why would he sign one of these like 6-year, $60 million deals right now if he's already there?
You got it, man. Yeah, the Rafaela signing's interesting. Appreciate your call, my man. Ceddanne Rafaela got an 8-year extension today. Woo! I mean, good for him. Now, the Bayo extension, I'm fine with. I do see the money down the line, and I'm like, oh, boy, look at that. But again, I don't care about the money anymore. Secure players long-term. That should be a goal for your team. And yes, Casas, I think it's in his best interest. I think it's in Casas' best interest not to sign an extension this year, try to have a breakout year, and he'll get going. He'll get going at some point. More on the Red Sox as they have opening day tomorrow. I will be there. I'm working tonight until 11, and then I'm going to leave my house at 7. What do you think the traffic's going to be like tomorrow, Skaz? I have to be there for a 10 o'clock show. I got to find parking. I have to leave from Peabody and drive through traffic on 93 in Sturrow. So what time would you leave the house?
You sure you don't just want to get a hotel down there tonight?
I thought about it already. The Verb or whatever is down there. You know, I could get some Sweet Cheeks barbecue. Oh, yeah. Well, what's open at 11 o'clock? I don't know. Maybe.
Nothing.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what's open anymore over there.
Not much.
But yeah, I thought about it already. Like, yeah, I'm here till this is going to be great. I've actually, believe it or not, I've never been to opening day.
Never. That does kind of shock me.
Well, let's just say I've had for the last 10 years or so. I know a guy, but still, I could not. You know what it was? I worked a sales job, right? Like an office sales job, where if I was like, hey, I'm taking the day off today, or I'm going to take a half day, they know where I'm going to be. So I never was able to get out. I'm probably not going to go to the game tomorrow, but I'll be there tomorrow. We got a live broadcast, myself, Zoe, and Matt McCarthy. The three of us will be live at Lucky Strike Lanes, the old Jillian's, I think it is. We'll be there from 10 to 2 tomorrow. So come by, say hi if you're going to opening day or you just want to hang out. I don't know what time I should wake up. I don't know. I'm thinking leaving at 7:30 and take my chances. Maybe I know a guy at the Ipswich Garage. I don't know. There is a nice little weed mall over there, too, but I don't know if they're open at 9 a.m. Anyways, we got to go to a break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
right back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I already see the people in the chat. Joe, been killing it. Thank you, sir. Well, you have. You've been good. Good for you. The solar eclipse sucked today, guys. Let's not lie about it. The dump button gets worn out enough at night. Out on the solar eclipse. Skaz and Joe Murray, my brothers from another mother. I need to know where you guys go in Plymouth and the Cape area for food ski. I like Blackwater Grill. I don't know how you're probably out there more often than I am, Skaz.
Mamma Mia's is a good spot, right on the water there.
Cape Cod, my favorite is Fisherman's View Sandwich. Go say hi to my guys over there. Excellent spot. The best place on the Cape, in my opinion. Ooh, I did go to a great breakfast joint in what town was it now? I'll look it up for you. Now I need to go look at it. Ann and Frank's, it's called. Yarmouth. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament ends tonight with UConn versus Purdue. Don't.
Do we think McCone's phone is on airplane mode yet? Do you think he shut off the outside world?
I had a chance. You did too. I saw Tim McCone out in the driveway today, and I looked at him and I go, "You ready?" And he goes, "What do you think?" I go, "I don't know, man. The 7.5. Oh, what do you think? You gonna lay it? What? You gonna lay it?" Well, I don't know, Tim. What do you think, man? Oh man, they gotta win. Oh no. What do you think though? What do you think about Zach Edey? So he's feeling it a little bit. I think he's excited, but at the same time would be devastated if UConn lost.
I would call it nervous energy. A little bit of nervous energy coming from McCone.
Do you feel like it's quiet?
I just feel like it almost feels like a formality at this point. Like everyone expects UConn to win this game, almost so much so that it would make me a little nervous if I was a UConn fan.
I think UConn 1 through 7 is a much deeper team. But Zach Edey is the player of the year. Some people might not like the way he plays. He does miss some free throws. Guy can run up and down the court, though. I will give you that. And you're probably going to have to get some mismatches on him defensively. But right now, the line's moving down. It's 6.5. It was like 7.5 at one point. But Braden Smith, that's somebody I'm looking at tonight as maybe somewhat of a difference maker in this game. So we'll wait it out a bit. But I wanted to share this story. I thought this was funny. So again, sometimes on Twitter, we don't know if they're real. We don't know if they're real or not. So we're just going to go with it as this is a real person. But I have eaten the same Chinese meal before every UConn game since the start of the Big East tournament. My Chinese place, for some odd reason, is closed tonight. I have placed the same order, but at a different place. If UConn loses, we know why. Why would the same Chinese place that he goes to, Polynesian restaurant, be closed tonight when the game is important? That's a big one.
An eclipse party?
You know what? I would have called the guy. I blame the guy.
You gotta make sure it's open.
That's exactly what I would have done. I would have gone in. I probably would have gone in Friday night, right? Wouldn't they win Friday?
Well, I'm guessing he had to have gotten it. No, it was Saturday.
Saturday.
Right? They played
Okay.
out, so he had to have gotten it Saturday.
Yep.
When you're in there Saturday, you call him to you. Hey, you guys open Monday?
You got to be like, hey, man, listen, if UConn wins tonight, are you open next Monday? And if they say we're closed, you got to be like, dude, can you save me a meal on Sunday so I can have it ready I'll put it in the oven, in the air fryer, whatever.
There you go. You order it Sunday so you have it for Monday.
Oh, no, this is bad.
It's bad. It's bad juju right
This
there.
is bad. And listen, I have quirks. Whenever I bet on a game, you know what happened the other night, actually? I had a little action on the Denver game. Was it Denver Clippers? And I took the under in the game, which went way under. But every time I turned the game away, Denver went on a big run. And I was like, wow. Like every time I stop watching, Denver plays really well. So I have superstitions when it comes to things too. But this man here, same Chinese place before every game since the Big East tournament. That's a lot of Chinese food. So that's what, 4 games in the Big East tournament? And then 4 wins? Let's see. 64, 32, 16, 8. This would be the 5th time. He's had Chinese food 8 times? Is it the same meal? Is it the same exact thing?
Sounds like he's getting the same thing every time. I mean, if it's working, Joe.
Wow. Well, we got to check on this man tomorrow. I think I won't be here, but we need to follow up on this man. Actually, Wednesday we have a full show, so we can dedicate some more time to this. I don't know how anybody feels about this one. 617-779-0985. What time is tip-off tonight?
It is allegedly 9:20, but I would imagine, knowing how these things go, it'd be closer to 9:30.
I wanted to give out a picks, guys. Maybe I'll do it right now. I haven't placed anything yet. I'm going over 143.5. Ring the bell. Bing, ding, ding. You don't have to find the bell, but it's just, I'm going over, baby. There's going to be a lot of points tonight. If that is the case, I would lean UConn if it's a over game. I think if Purdue's going to hang in there, they need to play at their pace. But they can score 80 points tonight, too. Going over. Let's have some fun, everybody. We'll take a no break. Just the headlines. And baseball. Yeah, opening day tomorrow over at Fenway Park. We'll get into that coming up next. I'm Joe Murray.
WBCFM from the Town Fair Tire Studios, the home of the Patriots, the Celts, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, both the Celtics and Bruins are off tonight. Bees are in Carolina tomorrow, while the Celtics on the road in Milwaukee. And maybe we'll see Neemias Queta, who the Celtics have signed today to a contract. So no longer a two-way contract. He's now eligible for the playoffs. The basketball national championship tonight, UConn, Purdue. Huskies going for back-to-back titles. John Calipari leaving Kentucky. He's taking the job at Arkansas. It's going to be a Razorback signing a 5-year deal. While the Red Sox opening day is tomorrow against Baltimore, they have signed Ceddanne Rafaela to an 8-year, $50 million extension. Bobby Dahlbeck has been sent back down to Worcester. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 30 minutes.
Marchand back of the net. He'll shoot. He scores!
This is Brad Marchand. Every Bruins game on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
None since then. Hot shot. Diving play by Story, but he cannot.
Oh, no.
He's in pain here. He is writhing in agony and had a hand on the shoulder. He made a sensational stop on it. He was not going to get it out. Take another look at this play.
Yeah, got a slider, went to the backhand, laid out, and right away, Rafi knew it. Oh.
And immediately in agony.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Just a quick take on Trevor's story. I don't want to beat the man up. He's been fighting. He had major surgery. He came back last year. He probably didn't have to. He worked hard this offseason. He wanted to be the shortstop for this team. He wants to be healthy. He wants to play baseball. He can't anymore, at least at this point. freak things happen to him. Alex Cora, after the game, so after they lost and then won 12-2, his message to the team was, this game will continue. It's not going to stop. People are getting hurt all over the place, and teams need to keep going. That's the way people have to see it. He also added, we have to move on. We got to go. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. We got to keep playing good baseball. I would say right now the Red Sox at 7-3 are playing fine baseball. I'm watching every night. I'm interested. I'm curious if the pitching staff can continue to do what they're doing. The bullpen as well. The power started to come alive the other night. Like, they've locked up two of their young players in Brian Bayo and Ceddanne Rafaela. That's interesting. You know, I want to know what kind of year Rafael Devers is going to have. Tristan Casas is betting on himself. I like this kid O'Neill in the outfield. Jarren Duran had a big night the other night. Their catchers have had good nights. So I'm interested in tomorrow's game. I'm going to watch it. And as long as there's, quality baseball going on, I'm interested in the team. And I know that the narrative, which people hate saying that, is ownership didn't spend money. It's just the easiest thing. So one more time on Trevor's story, you bet on the wrong horse. You bet on the wrong horse. You spent the money on Trevor's story, whose numbers were inflated because of where he played, because you didn't want to give a long-term deal to a guy you developed, who was a leader, who set the culture here and moved on, and didn't trade him when you knew you weren't re-signing him. You bet on the wrong horse, and you failed. So, as much as I would like to move on from talking about ownership, Trevor's story is just one of the colossal mistakes that they have made. And again, franchise altering. They have yet to replace Xander Bogaerts. They may not replace Xander Bogaerts until Mayer's ready. And who knows when that is? You bet on the wrong horse. The money that you want to spend, you spent it on Glass Joe. I don't want to beat up on Trevor's story anymore. The guy's he's been fighting. He's trying to come back. Unfortunately, the Red Sox can't depend on him. Just like they couldn't depend on Chris Sale anymore. Another colossal mistake. I'm trying not to talk about ownership when it comes to the Red Sox. I really am. But the Trevor story one, that's on them. You tried to fix a hole and tried to be smarter than everyone else, and instead you failed. And your offense is worse. Your defense is certainly worse. And now you're scraping the minor leagues or free agency or guys who've been designated to actually play the position now. You no longer have a shortstop. And now what happens when Vaughn Grissom's ready to go? A guy who is a shortstop but was projected to be the second baseman this year. Are you going to ask him now to be the shortstop this year? Franchise-altering mistake, Trevor Story. Anything else, guys, to add to that?
I think the way I look at it, though, and I get what you're saying because of the money, but on the actual field, Trevor Story has been okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He hasn't been awesome. He hasn't been great.
He should have been an upgrade. He was going to be an upgrade for them no matter what defensively.
But offensively, he's been kind of a disappointment, and his defense has been okay. So I think when you're talking about the actual team on the field, this loss isn't something that should, derail their 7-3 start, whatever you want to say. Since he's signed with the Red Sox 3 years, he's batting .227. And he has 19 home runs. You're not replacing Devers. You're not replacing even like a power bat like O'Neill or something like that. You're replacing a guy who plays really good defense and doesn't do a whole lot of hitting. So even with them not spending money, I think they should be able to, find an adequate Trevor Story replacement.
Well, think back to it. Xander Bogaerts is in the final year of his deal. But they thought, all right, let's sign Trevor Story to a deal. And that will be the insurance plan if something should happen to Bogaerts. Or not re-sign Bogaerts. So that's the whole, Skaz. On the field, they'll be fine. They'll replace him. They'll find somebody. Maybe somebody emerges. I don't know. Maybe Pablo Reyes all of a sudden has a bat. I don't know. Can Ceddanne Raffaello play shortstop? I mean, he's probably going to. They made a mistake. The Bogaerts thing was a colossal fail. So as much as it on the field, Trevor Story probably won't hurt the Red Sox this year, it's a reminder of the guy that you had there who played consistently, who played hurt, who may have only given you 20 home runs a year and batting 280 to 300. It was still a better investment than Trevor Story. You're going to be feeling this one for a long time. To Skaz's point, Trevor Story can help you defensively, can help the team at times. But they still have yet to replace Xander Bogaerts. And they may not for a long, long time. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I see some people up in the YouTube channel. Trevor Story makes Chris Sale look like Iron Man. I would disagree with that. Like, Chris Sale had a freak accident like in a video warm-up. Remember the bike incident a year ago? Remember when he cut up the jerseys when he was in Chicago? That guy, crazy to me. He's been an average at best hitter. They should be able to replace the bat. Yes. Yes, everybody. Yes. My point and my agenda here is they failed with Bogaerts, a guy who barely got hurt, who hit you 20 a year, batted 280 to 300, and was a leader. Guys like that, you pay. Instead, they went with the other guy, who's now hurt and replaceable. 617-779-0985. That's the number if you want to jump aboard. A couple other things I just wanted to hit on regarding the Red Sox here. That we already mentioned the Trevor Story injury, but the starting pitchers have been excellent. Tanner Houck has a scoreless streak of 12 innings to start the season. Pipes O'Neill. Do you think they could get that one going? That guy's got pythons for muscles. Pipes O'Neill. All sorts of, middle of the order power? They were looking for that. And David Hamilton, the replacement for one Trevor Story, nice little home run yesterday. They believe he's like a big time base stealer. Read into him a little bit. Red Sox own the second best run differential in all of Major League Baseball. Only Cleveland and Atlanta are ahead of them offensively, so that's good. And the Red Sox 3 games up on the following teams: Blue Jays, Baltimore. And if you look at some of these other teams through 10 games, like in the National League, the whole West are under 500. Only 6 teams are above 500 this year, including the Red Sox. So, Sox have started pretty well in their starting pitching. Their ERA right now, best in Major League Baseball at 1.53. Having pitched the 6th most innings so far this year. Their bullpen is the 4th lowest ERA at 1.45. If you look at Tampa Bay, their ERA is 7.47. But as for the offense, the Red Sox own the 3rd most home runs in the majors. That's a surprise to me. They have a 727 OPS, batting average of 248. So that's all middle of the pack. 3rd most home runs. Is that sustainable? And now you lose Trevor Story. So if you want to bring him back up, Pipes O'Neill leads the major leagues in OPS. I hope this isn't a Duvall start, Adam Duvall start. And then how about Reese McGuire? the night he had the other day, Jaron Duran, so far I think is outperforming what some people expected him to do. And Cassis, Rafaela, Devers, they're all doing what they're contributing. So far, I'm interested, and I'm going to watch tonight. Let's talk to Carl. He's in Westfield. What's up, Carl? You're on the Sports Hub.
Mr. Murray, I hear you're getting upset because Trevor Story's injured, but the team isn't made and rise of one guy. And then Hamilton, he's come up from minors, boom, like Lou Maroney. First at bat, that's it. He hits home runs. And Joe, let's be honest here. You go on the road for the road trip from hell. 2 of the 3 teams, not so good, but the other team's not too bad. And 7-3 on the way home, and how knocking them out like Mike Tyson. I'm not surprised. It's better than I expected. I expected crud. This is not bad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said, right?
Yes, sir. But Joe, why does Cora want to go to main office? This guy's got brain of rocket scientist. Give him the stupid money.
I didn't understand the end of that there.
He was saying, why does Cora want to go to the front office? He has a good mind of a manager.
Sorry, and I didn't mean to think I got disconnected. We're having technical difficulties back there. We're good now, though. Dude, Mike, please. The Trevor Story thing is, can you just do it. Just blame ownership for not re-signing Xander Bogaerts. Just do it. Just do it, and I'll move on. Yes, Joe. Yes, they screwed up on Bogaerts. Yes, just go with it. Don't give me your, Trevor Story wasn't that great anyways, and, he's replaceable. Yes, that's also bad. The fact that the guy they signed to that money is replaceable. That is bad. It's not good. It's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Not good, 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 good. Colossal fail by ownership. Colossal. You know what? Just for the hell of it, let's look up Xander Bogaerts' stats. Let's just do it. Because I don't know. Let's look up what Xander Bogaerts is doing this year to compare it. All right. So, just to be fair, of course, because that's exactly what we are on this show. All right. Batting average this year, .255. Nah. Not so great. 0 home runs. Guys, that's not good either. 4 RBI in 12 games. So he has 12 hits in 47 at-bats. How is Trevor Story doing? I mean, I guess this could, debunk my take if you really want to. But one is actually on the field while the other is not. All right, so Story's 226 with 7 hits, 4 RBI. I would say Bogaerts, who is not having a good season, is having a better season than Trevor Story. Like if this was Sons of Anarchy and we were at the table, gavel, fail. 617-779-0985. Now, who is at the table? Is it Clay or is it Jax? I don't know. You watch that show, guys? I love Sons of Anarchy. Oh, my God. You want to watch a show? Oh, you would like that. Yeah.
They just did like a spin-off of it, too, like Mayans or something.
Yeah. But there's, there's a lot of, it's a biker gang against other biker gangs, against other biker gangs, against other gangs that aren't bikers. And Peg Bundy's in it, but she's like a hot mom. All right, we got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
my peeps down the Cape, you know. Very good spot. Oh. So thanks, Barry, for listening and reminding me on that one. The lobster omelet. Objective, I guess. Joe show tonight. Yes, sir. We're on till 11. I was right when I called you a few weeks ago about the Bruins and the soft Bruins fan base. Oh, this is the guy that does the radio show at night. Remember that, Skaz? The guy who did New Hampshire radio?
How could I forget?
The Bruins are, what makes you happy? Nothing. But call into my show there on every 5 o'clock at whatever. That used to be me. Well, when I first started in radio, like, Joe, you're going to get 1 hour on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock. All right. And then I would tell everybody, you got to listen. It's a Tuesday. It's a 5. It's at 5 only, though. Between 5 and 6. I used to be that guy. Pipes O'Neill's father was Mr. Canada. Pipes O'Neill, is that a real character? I thought I made it up. You want to know what Xander is doing this year? He's playing. Unlike Story. I like Story. That's my take. Trevor Story was a signing that never made sense. Never did. It never made sense.
Terry O'Neill, Tyler's father, was named Mr. Canada, given to the nation's best bodybuilder in 1975.
Whoa, so Pipes O'Neill's dad really is Mr. Canada.
He's Pipes O'Neill.
So I gave a nickname to a guy whose dad even has bigger pipes?
I mean, just a quick Google search here. Terry O'Neill, Mr. Canada. Looking like a young Arnold in some of these pictures.
Yeah. See, I'd rather be Mr. Canada. That's solid. All I can think of is maple syrup. Like, do you think Mr. Canada had his own syrup line? Or Labatt Blue?
Some poutine.
Oh, yeah.
I just put it in Slack if you want to take a look.
All right. Take a look at this. Whoa! He is jacked to the gills. Tyler O'Neill's dad was even more jacked than you thought. Holy smokes. I don't even know if I can share this thing. He's massive.
That's Pipes O'Neill right there.
Wow. Looks like a young Chris Jericho. If I may say so.
The first comment under the picture is, this looks like Chris Jericho.
Oh, my God. I don't know how I can share. I'm going to retweet this. Pipes O'Neill. Mr. Pipes O'Neill. Mr. Pipes. Well, all right. Well, I guess the more you know.
Father Pipes.
The more you know, which, again, if we check Twitter and YouTube. Now I got two things I got to do. Hey, Joey Murr, I'm on my way home down to Fenway for my annual campout. 162 sicko who is clearly delusional, but, man, I can't help it. Wait, you're going to Fenway tomorrow to camp out for tickets? Why? Mike Columberry. Joe, I am Prince Humperdinck. Acknowledge me. All right, Shane. You want me to put up a 1 for you? Like Roman Reigns? Ceddanne Raffaella got an extension today. 8 years. It's a lot of money. So
is it, though? Is it a lot of money?
Well, you're right. He's only going to get $50 million like over the next 10 years of his life.
It's like 6.5 a year, right? Or something like that.
That's actually not a lot of money. Like, what if he turns into this great... What if he turns into, like, what you wanted Ellie De La Cruz to be?
This is what ownership has done, though. You're like, $50 million? Oh, that's a lot of money. No, it's really not. But what the Red Sox have been doing lately, you see that number, and you're like, whoa.
Do you think that kind of culture helps or hurts? Because early on, you're like, yeah, they're keeping the young guys. But long term, I'd be pissed if I signed a deal like that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of happened to Trout. If you remember when he first came up, he signed that $100 million deal, and then he ended up, being the best player on the planet, and they had to rework it a couple years in. I don't think that's going to happen with Raffaella, but Yeah, I think it's a good move because, like you said, this is something they hadn't been doing in the past, locking up their guys, and they got them on a pretty good number. So, yeah, I think this is a win for the Red Sox.
So yeah, I think it's a win for the Red Sox, absolutely. And I think one other thing here is if they do want to unload guys to get better players, do you think if Rafael, let's hypothetically say Rafael is a borderline all-star. What I mean by borderline all-star, Verdugo type. Would you be happy if Rafael was Verdugo?
Absolutely. As long as he's like him on the field.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like Verdugo.
Not the chain wearing, showing up late guy. But if that's the case, that's a guy now that another team may covet and give up maybe a pitching asset or a corner infielder, outfielder, whatever.
You've now turned him into a very tradable asset if he does pan out.
To the point where if the player's better, you would hope they would take on the salary, right? So if this is where they're going with it,
It does seem like flexibility has been something that they're trying to, create more of, so they do have options with the roster.
I mentioned the story. It's a reminder of a fail. They bet on the wrong horse. Is there anyone else that could happen to on this team? Because it can't be Devers, right? Yeah, they had to give him the money. They couldn't let Devers go
I feel the same way about Cassis. I think you have to pay him when the time comes.
Oh, yeah. But I think Cassis is like, all right, I know what I can get now. If I play better, I'm going to get more next year. So I don't blame him for that. But I don't know if there's another guy on the roster that you can say, this is where ownership screwed up again. Not Duran, not Rafaela.
No, I mean, Chris Martin's been an unbelievable move.
It's been great. So maybe Story is the final.
Jansen, maybe. Like, he seems to be
1 year deal, though.
Yeah, exactly.
1 more year left.
Not going to crush him for that.
And he was an all-star.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he's good. It's just, will he stay healthy?
Trevor Story might be the last ash of the Chaim Bloom ownership mistake era.
What about Yoshida? I like Yoshida. I think he can be a solid hitter.
There you go.
But he has worn down, last year, and his strikeouts went up and all that stuff. I still believe in Yoshida, but I think if you were looking for one, that could possibly be one.
Absolutely one, because here's the deal. He can't really do anything else besides DH. And he probably doesn't put up the power numbers or RBIs.
He kind of handcuffs you.
Another signing, though, that I wonder if it will hit. How is it's funny when I watch him, I definitely see him as a professional hitter. So there's never times where I'm up there and I'm like, all right, I watch this guy and I'm like, all right, he's flailing or off balance or anything like that. A professional hitter, no doubt. Just, no home runs. What do you have, 15 last year? He's 8 for 33 on the year. That's a slow start for him. Wow. I wonder if they need to move him around a little bit to play. Remember how J.D. Martinez had to play the outfield every once in a while? Because he said he needed it. So I'm wondering if this is a guy that might need to do that. And I wonder if they do it tomorrow at home. Left field, Fenway Park, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like if you're going to see him in the outfield at all this year, that's where it's going to be.
All right, we did some Red Sox talk. You excited for opening day tomorrow, everybody? Celtics Bruins on the table as well. I will get back to the Patriots. We got an in or out at the end of the hour as well. And I got mock drafts. I got a WrestleMania recap. We got so much to do until 11 o'clock here tonight. Let's take a look at the headlines. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the men's national championship underway right now at the 15-minute mark. UConn has 11-9 lead over Purdue. Zach Edey, 4 points so far in this one, but right back here, 98.5 The Sports. I'm Joe Murray. There's a ton we can get into. We got in or out coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So we can just do Celtics and Bruins here. We'll do both. How about that? Bruins take on Carolina tomorrow, and I think they're playing their best hockey of the year. And I didn't feel that way 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. I guess it was after that Philly loss on a Saturday where the Bruins had a somewhat of a meeting, and that's what has sparked the team. I go back to the skate where Montgomery chewed into everyone, specifically the captains of the team. And what players have you noticed have been playing better of late? Or at least playing motivated hockey? It's the captains. The Bruins are 5-1-0 since the day they got told by Montgomery that they are not ready for playoff hockey. All 5 wins come over teams currently in the playoffs or within a point of the playoffs. He said his team wasn't ready for the playoffs, and then they asked him the other day, we're getting close. The Bees are playing physical hockey and against good teams, too. The Panthers, Predators, Capitals. And both goalies have seemingly gotten back on track. Linus Ullmark has been awesome for about a month and was really good the other night, stopping 28 of 30 shots. We know Jeremy Swayman has had some hiccups in the second half since being an all-star this year. But the other night, 28 of 29 on the road against Carolina. The Stars are stepping up offensively. The captains. David Pastrnak, 8 points his last 6 games. Pavel Zacha, 9 and 6. Sorry, Pavel Zacha's got 9. Danton Heinen, 6. Brad Marchand has points in 3 straight games, including goal number 400. Charlie Coyle's been absolutely excellent. Had another goal on Saturday. Charlie McAvoy, another goal on Saturday. He's shooting the puck more. He now has an offensive-minded game plan as a defenseman. Parker Wotherspoon and Andrew Peak have played very well together. Look what they did against Matthew Tkachuk the other night in Bennett. That line has killed the Bruins over the years. So I don't know if that third down pairing is going to shut them down through 7 games. But this was management making moves, Montgomery calling the team out, goalies trying to figure it out, and star players stepping up when they should. And I don't think David Pastrnak could win the Hart Trophy. I don't. But is there anyone more important to the Boston Bruins than David Pastrnak? It's easy to say, oh, well, he's not a two-way player, or, he's lackadaisical at times. Where would the Bruins be without David Pastrnak this year? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Just to get into the Celtics for a minute, the Celtics have clinched everything. They had a good win the other night. Jaylen Brown showed that he could play. I thought he's dealing with a hand injury. Today they made a minor move. They gave Neemias Queta a full-time contract. He's a two-way player. He's going to be, their 4th or 5th big now? But good for him making the team. I wondered if they were going to do that this year. But good for him for making the team. Probably if you're seeing him in the playoffs, you only want to see him in scrub time. But who will be the 8th seed, or who will be the teams that they could potentially play in the first round of the playoffs? 76ers is starting to concern me a little bit. Just a little bit. But overall, I'm rolling with the Celtics this year. I've watched every team in the league. They all have flaws. There's no great team. But the Celtics have been blowing teams out this year because they're good. And other teams lay down. The biggest issue for the Celtics will be teams that have pace. Miami is one of those. Denver is certainly one of those. Philly is one of those. The Celtics need to play at their pace. When they do, they win by 20 plus. If that pace somehow gets rattled, slowed down, they'll be in a pressure situation. But I think they're going to be the toughest team to beat in a 7-game series. So your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I read some of the things that we got going on in the chat tonight. Let's see. Pipes Poutine. He is jacked, though, huh? That guy is just enormous. Linus Allmark in net. I think Linus does start game 1, by the way. Despite how one Jeremy Swayman would feel about that. All right, we got in or out. In or out. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success. Yeah, the Gravitron. If you know what that is, it's just a spinning circle with like a leather, like a leather back. But it was the Turkish twist, except the Turkish twist, the floor falls out. So, like, you're spinning with no floor.
You feel like you're inside a washing machine, just being, like, pressed up against the walls.
The Gravitron, at least I'm like, all right, the floor is still there. So, is it going to feel like that? Because if it does, I am out. I mean, what is a tornado? How do you make a tornado? How do you make a tornado, like, wind tunnel?
Yeah, I'm guessing you go in there and it just, like, messes up your hair or whatever, and it's probably not that
it's just
strong.
hard blow dryers?
Yeah, probably.
Out.
If
you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. I want everyone blown away. Out. You know what, though? Sounds cool. Like, if I got to, hit one of those proton packs before watching a Ghostbuster, I would do that. Cross the streams and everything. I feel like I haven't been on the night show in a while. Read the chat.
You want one more?
Yes.
All right, Joe. The Curb Your Enthusiasm season finale was last night. Did you watch, and are you in or out on the end of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Confession. I have never watched the show Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So were you a Seinfeld guy?
I've watched every episode of Seinfeld ever.
So you've seen the Seinfeld finale?
Oh, yeah.
So Larry pretty much, I don't want to say he did the same thing, but it was very like on the nose, taking shots at people that didn't like the Seinfeld finale, and he basically did almost the exact same thing.
Now, Jerry Seinfeld was in the episode,
He
right?
was in the episode, yes. And
So,
he was good.
I read about that. I read that when Seinfeld ended, I was pissed.
And I didn't realize this. Larry David was not really involved with the last 2 seasons of Seinfeld.
Really?
I read that earlier today.
So Jerry basically was? The final episode of Seinfeld. So you got to remember, back then, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. What I mean by that is we could go on like AOL like rooms. But we couldn't text our buddy and be like, hey man, did you see the Seinfeld finale? So the only time you could talk about it was like at the water cooler or like recess at class. So we don't like when The Sopranos ended, I was pissed because I thought something went wrong with my television. But I could text people, I could go on the internet, I could react with everybody else. My only thing with Curb is I've tried to watch it multiple times. So I want to watch it. And I've seen many episodes like just because it's funny. It feels like a show that I can just kind of pop in on.
Yeah, we were mentioning Bruce Springsteen. He was in the finale.
Bruce
was in there.
Did he sing?
He did not sing.
Yeah, why is Bruce on if he's not singing?
He had an issue with Larry. I'll say that.
Bruce
as most people do on the show.
Do you know what's funny about Larry David? Whenever I see that man in public, I feel like he's always like ignorant to the fact that like he doesn't know. For example, if he's sitting courtside at a game, he has his legs out.
Well, there's a Curb episode where he trips Shaq.
Okay,
and
so I've never seen the show, but yes, this is what I mean.
And that episode was shot in Minnesota, and one Sean Grandy is on the call of the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow. What do you do?
There's Grandy's connection to Curb.
My Seinfeld Larry David impersonation is, what are you going to do? Oh, he's going to do this? Well, that's what he did. Well, I don't know why he didn't do it. And I feel like that's the whole show. You know? It's like sleeping over is optional. But Larry David like, why don't I sleep over? I want to have breakfast and coffee the next day. Where I got to sleep over. I want to wake up and have a little coffee.
You've seen it. You've pretty much seen it.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
Yeah, we have a couple more. We can save them for Wednesday. We'll get to some Masters ones on Wednesday.
Felt like that was a solid in or out tonight. Back here on the night show. All right, let's get an update on this basketball game.
I one time had 2 chicken patties and put a beef patty in between it and just ate it like that.
Did you make this in your home?
No. I one time worked at a McDonald's. Chicken sandwiches, and I put a 1/4-pound beef in the middle of it. I called it a McMurray burger. We can make it a song if you want.
Make me a McMurray and make me one right now. Used to chicken patties and a 1/4 pound of cow. I don't need no pickles, tomatoes, or lettuce. Don't forget the bacon and barbecue sauce. Can you make a McMurray? Can you make a McMurray? With French fries dipped in fudge and an M&M milkshake. Can you make a McMurray? Can you make a McMurray? And serve it with the side of angioplasty.
WBC-FM 91 bus from the Town Fair Tire Studio, the home of the Bruins, Patriots, Revs, and Celtics.
On Maxi, step back, 3 is good.
Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub, the East Lady Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, at the NCAA tournament right now, it is UConn up 36-30 on Purdue. Zach Edey's 16 points. They need a little bit more there from Purdue, or they'll be Purdue. John Calipari has signed with Arkansas.
Boo.
It's a 5-year deal. I don't know what the money is, but I'm sure he'll get a lot. No Bruins, no Celtics tonight. Opening day for the Red Sox is tomorrow. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
To go to 3 minutes, Jalen jumps the pass and back.
Every game
Up top, Pastrnak, here it comes.
is one step closer to the goal.
That's the steal. Flies over Grayson.
This is the home of the Bruins and the Celtics and their road to the playoffs. Boston's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. It's 36-30, Skaz, so that's only 66 first half points, and I have over 143. So let's look at the betting situation here, everybody. Why not? Let's do an exercise together. And again, Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, here until 11 o'clock tonight. Phone number is 617-779-0985. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on YouTube tonight. I know there's a lot going on, right? A lot of people are gearing up for tomorrow's home opener for the Red Sox. The National Championship game's on for all the wrestling fans. It's the night after Monday Night Raw. So when there's no game, sometimes you take a night off. Plus, maybe you saw the solar eclipse earlier and your eyes are sore. So I understand it. So I appreciate you all for hanging out. So right now, there's 66 points in the game, and the betting odds are 141. So let's do 141 minus 66. And we are at 75 points second half, Skaz. I lean over. There's going to be a lot of fouls at the end of the game. The pace, though, still favors Purdue. I'm going to be honest with you. Speaking of that, the line is 6. So right now, they're trying to get you at 8.5. So that means that you would have to win the second half if you like UConn by 3 points. So if you already have it at 6.5 or 7, you have a shot to double down. This is an actual double down opportunity for you bettors out there if you think UConn runs away with this thing. It's 2.5 points. So if you got it at 7, you're chasing 1.5 points. I'm not going to advise you to double down. I just think at 6 points, it's still a Purdue-type game. So I lean over 75 second half. I think this thing goes over the total still. I think things slowed down early on. The other thing is, if Purdue gets into some sort of pace game with UConn, I'm not saying they're going to go away from Edie, but they might have to start jacking up some threes. I go over 75. Don't know how you feel about that, Skaz, but just look at the betting odds. You can double down if you like UConn. You can even get an extra 1.5 if you like Purdue. I lean over 75. I think this thing still goes over the total.
Yeah, and it looks like Zach Edey and Dan Hurley have had some words with each other during the first half.
Why do I hate Dan Hurley? What is it about him? And by the way, one of my old high school teammates, Tyrone Ball, he hired him in Rhode Island. So took care of my guy. But what is it about him?
I think it's just how I like Hurley. I think he's good for the sport. I like how fiery he is and how, he just is himself out there. He kind of loses his mind. I think we've kind of lost some of that personality in college coaches with, Coach K and Roy Williams losing like a lot of these legacy guys, Jay Wright. So, Hurley at UConn obviously has done incredible work, but I think he's good for the sport, and I can totally understand why people wouldn't like him because of, the antics and the constant screaming during the game, but I like it. I think it's good for the sport, and college basketball, now that the players are one and done, the fans are going to identify with the coaches more, and you need guys like Hurley.
You got a thought on Arkansas hiring John Calipari?
I mean, that was one where I had to check it like 3 times last night to make sure I wasn't getting, got on Twitter. It was, is this real? And then you see it, and apparently he's got, really close ties with the biggest booster at Arkansas.
Tyson Chicken.
Yeah, the Tyson Chicken guy.
Wait a second.
So, Jack.
Time out. John Calipari, who coached at UMass, UMass, where he cheated.
But won.
Gets fired from the Nets because it didn't work out. Where'd he go after that? Kentucky? Where'd he go after that? Why am I losing my mind on where John Calipari went after that? But anyways, the guy, let's call it what he is. Hell of a recruiter. A little bit of a sleaze. Memphis, that's right, with Derrick Rose, who also cheated. The guy is cheating. I mean, God bless him.
This is all because of Jack Golke, the kid from Oakland that went nuts.
There you go. But go figure. A kid that was playing at like Curry College all of a sudden went off. No offense to Curry. Great school. Got friends who went there. But anyways, my point is, yes, some guy who never wasn't a part of the NIL or whatever screwed it all up for him. Just a real thing on Calipari. You can't cheat anymore. You can't cheat. No, it's because they've taken it all away. Can you take it all away? Calipari cheats. He's a great cheater. And I'm applauding him for it. I'm not knocking him for it. Great cheater. You can't cheat anymore, bro, because they've taken it away from you. Why do you think Nick Saban stepped down? But you know what? Tyson Chicken, baby. Yeah.
See, I think Kentucky is kind of the winner in all of this because they're Kentucky. They are bigger than John Calipari. They are way bigger than John Calipari. They are Kentucky basketball, maybe the number one college basketball program in the country just by accolades and facilities and all that. And now you're not tied to a guy who had a $30 million buyout that you were going back and forth on paying. Now he leaves. You don't have to pay that. And now you have an opening for the best job in the country, the best opening in the country by far. And instead of, having all these prospects and getting knocked out in the first round, you can hire a guy. I think I saw Nate Oates took his name out of the ring, but a guy like that who's an up-and-coming coach climbing the rankings to instead of just being a recruiter like Calipari was, you can get an actual, top of the line basketball coach in there and start to win something again.
That school needs its program back. And I agree with you. I think they're the winners in this one. So I don't think Rick Pitino goes back because he's already in trouble. Billy Donovan would be a great name. Won a national championship, wasting away in the NBA.
If I was Kentucky, that would be the guy I would want, is Billy Donovan.
Weird names, though, like Sean Miller. Can he make that jump back? Had a big program.
He's a lunatic, though.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. What about Richard Pitino?
Not ready. I mean, I think he is a good coach, and I don't think it's just his dad. I think he has done well in his spots. But to go to Kentucky, I think they need a bigger name. And also, it's like he has the Pitino. It's not his fault, but he's a Pitino, and I just don't know if that's what Kentucky wants to do.
The biggest heel move ever would be Bill Self leaving Kansas after signing that big deal and going to Kentucky.
Yeah, he
signed a lifetime deal at Kentucky.
Yeah, Kansas had all his health issues and stuff. I can't imagine him leaving. Such a good situation for him.
Scott Drew is the favorite right now, who's, to me, done just an excellent job at Baylor. He might be the guy. Arkansas, by the way, has had some really good teams over the last couple of years. Like I know Jordan Walsh is with the Celtics now.
Well, Musselman was a good coach.
Musselman was a great coach.
That's why he's at USC now.
Oh, my God, he was awesome. Can Calipari coach anymore? That's a serious question.
He can recruit, but can he coach?
Can he coach?
Now, I think there's a 0% chance that he would take the job, but do you think we see Brad Stevens' name get brought up?
Yes. You know who I was actually thinking? Charles Lee, Sam Cassell. I think Cassell's an NBA lifer. I do. Charles Lee? And remember all the other assistants that Brad Stevens had? Micah Shrewsbury, right? Now he's at Notre Dame. Damon Stoudemire went back to college this year. Like, could there be somebody else from that staff that's enticing? Scott Drew would probably be the top name for me because he's been at Baylor, big school, goes into a situation where it's about basketball.
What about the guy Houston, Kelvin Sampson?
Kelvin Sampson, yeah, but
he's been good.
See, I don't know. Houston's due, right? Or can he just not win there? Like, that's one of those things. He's a great coach. And I don't know if there's anyone with, we talked about this off the air, but is there someone with ties to Kentucky? Like, is there somebody with a tie? I mentioned Rajon Rondo. That wouldn't work out.
What about Shaka Smart?
Would he leave?
That's what yeah.
He's already bounced to how many schools now?
He was at VCU. Texas. Oh, no, was he at VCU?
Yeah. Well, that's where he got his, and then he, so he's at his third school. Shaka Smart's a hell of a coach, though. College coach, yes. That might be a top 5 job in college basketball.
Has to be.
And there's others. Jamie Dixon would be one of those names. If it's Bruce Pearl, oh boy.
No, you can't do that.
You can't.
What about Mick Cronin?
Mick Cronin's been to a Final Four. Tough coach. Well, he went to a final, right? Hami Hawk was his team, yeah. All right. Well, there's your college basketball minute, everybody. We're going to go to a break. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here as well. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
I sent to the Scaz earlier today. Started out with the Patriots signing Kyle Duggar. I like that they're bringing back a player that they drafted. A leader. I don't care about the money that they gave him. But that's $16 million. So I said I don't care about the money. Can you allocate some of that on the offensive side of the ball? How about a little bit on the offensive side? But just keep bringing in defenders. Isn't that what you had last year? No offense, good defense? Just wanted to double check on that. Jaden Daniels in town tonight getting dinner somewhere. I need to know where. Davio's? They take him to like a Louisiana-style restaurant? Oh, yeah. You ever been to New Orleans, guys?
I have not, but that's one place that's on the list for sure.
Some of the best food I ever had. Dallas as well. You know, not a hot take here, but Dallas has pretty good barbecue. Not a hot take. But Jaden Daniels in town. They've met with him. This is the third time they're meeting with him. And I bring up the Athletics mock draft. They did a 3-round mock draft. I probably should tell you all the guys they had selected, but they have Jaden Daniels going third to the New England Patriots. And they're advocating the Patriots to trade the pick, but mention that Robert Kraft wants a QB and one that he can market. Great. How do you feel about that, guys, by the way? How do you feel about they want a Patriot quarterback that they can market? I want a guy that can play.
Don't you think his best marketability is being good?
Yes.
So like that should be their number one concern. I mean, if he stinks, how much can you market the guy?
Thank you. Yeah. Drake May, we can play a lot of Drake music. Maybe you can bring Drake there. Maybe they can do a diss track together, those two. You know? But Jaden Daniels going to the Patriots at 3. And J.J. McCarthy, 4 to the Vikings. Penix, 44 to the Raiders.
I don't think he's making it out of the first. I think someone's going to reach.
That would be 6 first-round quarterback if Bo Nix gets drafted, who's linked to go to the Broncos. Why would they draft a quarterback in the first round? Because
Sean Payton thinks he can make anybody, yeah.
Just to go over some of these other picks that they have. So round 2, the Patriots have pick number 34. They have the Patriots taking Kingsley Suamatautaye. He is from BYU, their offensive tackle. Throw on the old... when I went to Hawaii, I had to learn a lot of these names. So, Suamatu Ma'ai. He goes 34. And then in the third round, this one I liked. The Patriots select Jalen Polk, wide receiver, Washington. Liked him. He caught a touchdown in the national championship game. So they have the Patriots going offensive. Quarterback, tackle, wide receiver. I feel like people would be in on that. I think most of the draft should be all offensive players.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the sentiment around here is they built up the defense. They paid for some guys on the defensive side of the ball. Now it's time to build up the offense. And as we've seen, they're not going to really do that this offseason. So the draft is what's left. And I think that's what they're going to do. I'd be pretty shocked if anything other than the first 3 picks, were offensive players.
All right. There was one thing I wanted to bring up today just regarding Gerard Mayo. I read Mike Reese's Pieces. Is that what it's called? When you were a kid, did you call it Reese's Pieces?
You got to. I feel like that's what I thought it was.
Reese's Pieces. Because, like, E.T., right? Anyways, I'm trying to find this... breakdown that I saw earlier today. Oh, by the way, Doug Kyde from the Herald is doing an extensive breakdown on Jaden Daniels' game. And Andrew Callahan's going to do one on Drake May. So I'm interested to see when both of those come out. That should be fairly interesting. The other thing, Gerard Mayo, again, was on the Reese's Pieces, Mike Reese report. And Mayo basically says the Patriots rebuild is a process. It's more than just a quarterback. This guy has talked out of his ears, mouth, nose, toes. He's talked out of almost everything. So it was getting the best quarterback, and then it's not. And then it's a process. And he even brings up what the Texans have done. Bro doesn't know what he's doing. Does anybody on the Patriots know what they're doing? We got a WrestleMania preview. We'll do that next. Unless you want to talk about something else, you can call in at 617-779-0985. Let's get an update in the national championship game.
Sports Hub headlines.
And UConn opens the half with a big three-pointer, up 39-30, 18-37 to go. We only need 72 more points in the second half to cover that spread. Zach Edey's got 16 first-half points, 7 of 14 from the field. No.
Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. That is Cody Rhodes' music. Rebranded himself the American Nightmare. Colored his hair blonde. Went on the independents. Helped start up AEW. Came back to WWE. Won the Royal Rumble. Tore his pectoral muscle. Came back. Won the Royal Rumble again. And had back-to-back main events at WrestleMania, losing last year, also losing to The Rock and Roman Reigns on night one, but with a little bit of help from some friends, finished the story at WrestleMania 40. It was free on Peacock for those who didn't have a chance to watch. Pro wrestling can be a love story if you want it to be. It's certainly choreographed, predetermined entertainment. I've been watching it all for 40 years. Last night was one of the better ones, and it's because there was a payoff and a finish. And because it feels like there's a new era. And speaking of that, no one is speaking the name Vince McMahon anymore. You saw his daughter Stephanie come back this week. She had doubts about coming back. She belongs there. But they went out of their way not to mention Vince McMahon, who sold more of his stock today with the company. Slowly but surely, Vince will be erased from our memory. But when it comes to WrestleMania, there is a new era. The Renaissance era is what they'll probably call it. It's the Triple H era, the Paul Levesque era. And I'll save you for the fans who don't watch wrestling and don't care. I'll make this quick. Paul Heyman got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this week. The WWE Hall of Fame is not a real thing. It's an honor. It's an honor. Well, Paul Heyman has been one of the best promoters, voice, mouthpiece, advocates, you name it, in professional wrestling. For years, he was one of the better writers. Started as a photographer, working his way in to get in at Madison Square Garden, but was always chump change compared to Vince McMahon. Always. Went to WCW, tried to do more, started an alliance, the Dangerous Alliance, managed many of the top champions, got fired, starts his own thing called ECW in Philadelphia that everybody loved. They bought the pay-per-views. They followed. It was a competitor, but Vince bought it out after bankruptcy. This year's Hall of Fame class and this year's WrestleMania had Paul Heyman looking down on Vince McMahon. And it's just, I thought that was very gratifying for one Paul Heyman. A guy that fought for years to have his voice heard because he is a good promoter, a good booker, a good writer. But it was him who was on top WrestleMania weekend while we're all trying to forget about Vince McMahon. That was the story of WrestleMania 40. Not to mention Cody Rhodes defeating Roman Reigns, who was the champion for almost 4 years. And his father, Dusty, once won the championship, but was taken away from him from a rule and never actually held the championship. Cody didn't either and wanted to finish the story, and he did. The first Rhodes to win a WWE championship. It was a really long story that we all watched. It was beautifully done, bravo to Triple H and everyone at WWE. And I don't know where it will be next year. I'm hearing Minnesota. We've already heard Vegas. I was a little upset I didn't go. It was in Philadelphia. I heard night 1 was really cold. Night 2 was much better. Would they ever consider it now here in New England? I don't think they could do it at Gillette, guys. I just think it's too small. Could they do SummerSlam? That'd be something I'd be interested in. I'd be in on that.
Yeah, well, isn't it too cold? Like, isn't that too much of a risk for them to do it here?
It just snowed here.
Yeah.
They had an earthquake and snow in New Jersey in like 1 week or a couple of days. But, yeah, they tried to have SummerSlam a couple of years ago in Boston, but the pandemic came through, so I think they owe it to them. But overall, just an exciting, really nice night. And so for all the people who haven't watched, John Cena was involved. CM Punk was there. The Rock was involved. And The Undertaker was there. It was an incredible scene for 5 minutes. It was blow your mind. Whoa, holy bleep. I'll end the wrestling talk now, but for once a year, I think it is the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. Logan Paul, I know a lot of people hate this guy. He's an unbelievable WWE performer. And I think more and more Jason Kelsey was there. George Kittle was there. There were tons of celebrities. It really is a once a year. I'd bucket list it if you want. I think it's something you should all enjoy. All right, that's it. I'll stop on the wrestling talk. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll wrap up the show. I'll tell you where I'll be tomorrow. And anything else we missed tonight coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
At 98.5thesportsup.com. It is Masters Week. The Scasters. I'm trying to make it stick, Skaz. I don't, the Scasters.
Yeah, I got a betting preview up right now on 98.5thesportsup.com. Like it says, it's like my favorite week of the year. I can't wait.
So Thursday is when it all tees off?
Yep. They do the par 3 contest on Wednesday, which is always a lot of fun to watch. And then Tim McCown's flying right about now.
Tim McCown's flying. So that over, I don't know, man. It's going to have to be a lot more fouls. I don't know. People are saying Edie looks soft. I mean, he's barreling that dude over right now, trying to get position. Go on, Edie, get up there. Yeah, and one. They called it a travel. I want a good game.
Yeah, this thing looks like it might be over.
Oh, but a couple of years ago, I was in Dallas for North Carolina, Kansas? That came down to the final shot. That was a great game.
Was that the one where Page hit the 3? Oh, no, that was the Villanova game.
But North Carolina came all the way back, and I don't know why Kansas, Bill Self really melted down. They won. Terrible job. Some money on that game, too. That was a 1-point spread that night. That's why I was sweating it out. UConn's, you know what? UConn should be blowing these guys out. They're missing so many shots. I don't know. Do we even know what was the national championship game last year? UConn and who?
Was it San Diego State?
Oh, that's right.
And they blew them out.
Woof. Man, Purdue's fighting hard though. It's like they no longer have talent. They're just fighting. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't have talent. We're just going to fight you now. Oh, he traveled. Thanks, guy. Zeke in YouTube. So tomorrow, Skaz, this show here has Bruins and Celtics. So the Bruins are on early. The Celtics will be on 92.9. And what, you'll go until midnight with Mark Dondero?
Yes, we will be 6:30 pregame and then postgame with Dondero until midnight.
Okay. I will be on 10 to 2 with Scott Zolak and Matt McCarthy, live from Lucky Strike Lanes, across from the Ipswich Garage on Ipswich Street in Boston next to Fenway Park.
You find a parking spot yet?
I'm going to wing it, baby.
Joey want wingy?
Joey want wingy. I'm doomed.
What about the train? What about the tea? Would you take
Hell no.
No, not worth it.
As somebody who grew up in the city and then had to work a job in downtown Crossing, out! I can't even share the last thing that happened to me on the train.
What about an Uber?
Thought about parking at the casino and then taking an Uber. Free parking at the casino. I have many friends over there. Could also, play a hand of blackjack.
Make a pit stop, yeah.
Roast beef shop across the street. Could do that. Not sure if it's open at 7:30 in the morning, but you never know. That'd be actually great. Roast beef for breakfast. Beefist. All right. Well, yeah. So tomorrow night, you'll get the show here, 2 games, and then I'll be on 10 to 2, and I'm sure there'll be more Eclipse talk, by the way. We can't play it. Maybe we can do it another night, but the sound of the woman that was like doing the...
we might have to revisit that on Wednesday.
Yeah. People really wanted this thing, man. This is the greatest thing. I'll never see anything again like this. Ah!
It kind of remind me of the weather guy when the snow thunder or the thunder
yeah, thunder snow or
Jim Cantori.
the was it the triple rainbow? What was that?
Started losing his mind.
I thought that guy was on acid. Well, UConn's blowing him out. Don't. That's why they got the Tyson chicken guy. We need that family going here. All right, that's it for us tonight, everybody. We'll be back here. I'll be on at 10 in the morning tomorrow.